The trout is in here. Whoa, it's cooked.
Of course it's cooked.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark Bittman, and welcome once again to Cooking in Your True to Food Kitchen from Signature Kitchen Suite. We're going to cook some terrific recipes today with some wonderful people. We're going to make sous-vide trout with sous-vide poached eggs over corn and green chili polenta and roasted peppers. We're going to do all that on the Signature Kitchen Suite 48-inch range, which Nick is standing in front of. Gentlemen, let's introduce ourselves, starting with Robert.
It's a pleasure to be here with you, Mark and Nick and Jason. Thank you so much. I am the executive producer of the House Beautiful Magazine 2020 Whole Home Concept House, as well as the president of North Star Synergies. And what a great opportunity to be here to work with Signature Kitchen Suite appliances that are state-of-the-art, along with Chef Nick and Chef Mark Bittman and Jason August participating today. Thank you so much.
It's great, Robert. Thank you. Jason, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jason August. I'm also with North Star Synergies. And again, this is part of the House Beautiful 2020 Whole Home Concept Home Kitchen, Signature Kitchen Suite appliances, and amazing home, amazing community. We're out at really what's a farm-to-table community. So I'm excited to be here and make something that tastes better than I could make on my own, by far.
Thank you for that. The place looks absolutely spectacular. Thank you, Jason. And really, our conductor, the man who really runs the show, is Chef Nick Richie. Nick, great to see you as usual.
Good to see you. I thought you were running the show, Mark, but I'll take the credits. Hi, I'm Nick Richie. As Mark said, I'm the executive chef for Signature Kitchen Suite. I am privileged to be here at our Experience and Design Center in the beautiful and very sunny Napa Valley. And myself and Mark and his wonderful recipes are going to help Jason and Robert learn a little bit about their 48-inch pro range. We're going to cook some of Mark's amazing food today, and I'm just very excited to get that going.
Robert, do you want to take this opportunity to talk a little bit more about the community and the farm-to-table aspects?
Sure. We're so fortunate to be here today in Nicholas Custom Homes' home at Fox Hill in rural urban metropolitan Denver. And the community being farm to table to fork is just remarkable. First community in the state of Colorado, and as Jason has pointed out in our early preparation, we have tilapia and trout being farmed in the community right now in an aquaponics barn. We also have the opportunity to enjoy other vegetables that are being farmed here as well. And we have organic chard and spinach, and we also have kale and other related vegetables. And with the farm-to-table concept, on a daily or weekly basis, they can order their own organic foods delivered directly to their home within the community. And it's also the farm goods are also made available within the community at large. And also there's a local nonprofit that helps people dealing with poverty, and where most of the food is being sent to in order to help the neighboring community.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. What we're going to start and end with kind of is the poached egg and also the trout that we're making, which are both cooked sous vide. So, Nick, do you want to run us through the sous vide feature and also help Jason get started here?
I would love to. We love to talk about sous vide. We are the only one on the market with the built-in sous vide well. I have one here. I'm in front of the exact same range that Jason is. Due to the nature of our programming and the slow cooking process of sous vide, we have had to cheat. The perfect poached egg takes about 50 minutes to an hour. So we have cheated a couple in ahead of time. But Jason, why don't you go ahead and take those other 2 eggs on your counter and show them how easy it is to drop eggs right into the sous vide well. Now, for those of you that don't know about sous vide is a slow and low and highly controllable cooking method that occurs in a bath of temperature controlled water.
Let me just say something about sous vide because not everybody knows it. And as Nick pointed out, SKS has the only commercial range with built-in sous vide. But sous vide, as Nick said, is cooking in temperature-controlled water. So what that means is that whatever you cook in a sous vide situation, you first pack in a plastic bag that's fully sealable, and you set the temperature of your sous vide bath at precisely the temperature that you want your food to be when it's done. So in the case of a perfectly jammy, gorgeous, beautiful poached egg, which is really not poached but sous vided, that temperature is, Nick, what, 145?
147, the food scientists have told me. And thank you for the concise rundown on sous vide. The thing about the egg that's great, Mark, is it doesn't need the plastic bag. It has its own skin, the shell, and you can it gets to get dropped right in the water. That's why I love the sous vide egg. I can avoid the plastic bag with this one, and it has its own cooking vessel. Now I think we can do one of two things. We're going to need to roast some of these beautiful Colorado chilies that the state is so famous for and that Jason has procured for us. And we also need to get our trout in the bag because we're going to sous vide the trout. Trout doesn't come with a shell. We need to create the skin around the trout, and we need to bag the trout.
I stick it into the bag, right? Like this?
Yes, go ahead.
Just one piece, right?
If you have two, you can go ahead and put two, but one is fine. Go ahead and put two so it's a nice full bag. And even if one is bigger and one is smaller, that's the magic of sous vide. They will cook perfectly together. Yeah, that's an amazing thing about sous vide is if you time your day right and you're cooking the right things. Seafood loves a delicate, slow and low temperature. It likes to be poached too, much like an egg. So you bring the egg to 147, and at about 10, 15 minutes before it's done, you can drop the bag of trout right in the same water. It's separated with its own plastic skin, and it will cook and be done at the same time as your eggs. So once again, a wonderful reason to do this recipe on our range.
That's great. So then I have the trout in the bag here.
Wonderful. You can set that down, and then you're just going to want to take a couple peels off of your lemon.
Okay, so now I have some lemon. It's smelling very lemony.
And you're going to add that to the bag with the trout, and then you're going to put a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper, and a little drizzle of olive oil straight out of the bottle. And you can eyeball all of that. Then when all that's in there, you can walk over to your nifty sealer drawer and pop that in and get it sealed.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Okay, Jason, we have your trout sealed up. Very nice work. You can go ahead and...
It looks good.
Great, it does. You can go ahead and drop that in our Signature Kitchen Suite sous vide well with your eggs. And that will cook very, very happily at 147 degrees.
And again, let's point out, you really can't overcook it because it's going to cook to the temperature it's done and no further.
You have that nice grate, like we've made a little indoor hibachi. This is our Swiss Army knife of ranges, all the things you can do. We're going to take advantage of our very powerful 23,000 BTU gas burner in the front there, Jason. So go ahead and take your 3 chilies and set them right in the middle of your grate, right over the burner. Yes, sir. And then crank that baby up all the way to the highest setting. We want to create a roasting, char-broiling effect, and we want those chilies to turn black, believe it or not.
As they blacken, turn them to the next side.
Yeah, they'll go quick. So go ahead and just flip them right over. And all you want to do is just get them nice and black on each side. Wonderful. Because when the chilies are all black, we're going to put them carefully into the plastic bag and close it up. And they'll steam, and you'll be able to get all of the charred peel off of them very easily, like a pro.
Another attribute of the SKS 48-inch range that Chef Nick is in front of, as well as Jason, is the fact that the knobs are in the front of the appliance for easy use for people that are aging in place, those of us that may be a little bit more senior, or those that have a physical challenge. 25% of the population worldwide, is in this category. So it really is another tremendous aspect, of this outstanding manufacturer of Signature Kitchen Suite.
Jason, how are we doing?
We have the chilies in a bag.
So we're ready to cook polenta. So if you have that pot with the first cup of water in it, Mark has a technique for polenta that I had never seen, and I liked it a lot. It's like a risotto technique where you start with a little bit of water, and then you add water as you go.
The big problem with cooking polenta is clumping. And no one wants to bite into a lump of raw, uncooked corn in their polenta. So the trick here is to make what amounts to a slurry, a mixture of not too much water and the corn that you're using, so that it's smooth, and you whisk it smooth, and then you add water gradually, keep stirring, and keep it smooth throughout the cooking process until it's done. It doesn't require constant stirring, but it requires a little bit of attention.
So Jason, you should have that first cup of water that we set aside. That's going to go into the pot with a little pinch of salt. So crank that up to high and get that water boiling so we can start to stir our polenta in. You have your pre-measured cup of Olathe, Colorado corn grits there, and pour that into the water and stir, stir, stir. You can turn your burner down at this point, and if it gets really thick on you immediately, that's where that nice pitcher of water comes in handy. All grits and polenta, and Mark will hopefully agree with me, they're all different. And I know we as chefs and home cooks love to use the 4-to-1 ratio, but that doesn't always work perfect depending on the product. And I know you have a very farm fresh, like I said, stone ground. Some of the whole and stuff was probably still in there. But 4-to-1's a good ratio to stick with grits and polenta. So you can just start adding some of that, your 4 cups of water, and you're just going to want to keep a consistency that's much like porridge. We're going to add some milk to it for some richness at the end. Look at that. Look at you. So, Mark, that looks great. If you have a little more water, do you have a little more water in your pitcher?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead and add about another cup of water to that, and then give it a stir, and then let it sit on that low setting. And I think we can go deal with our peppers now. Robert, I know you guys have been bringing tons of tours and tons of designers and all kinds of important people through there to check out Fox Hills and our Signature Kitchen Suite appliance. What's the feedback? What is everyone saying about the Fox Hill properties and our Signature Kitchen Suite stuff inside them?
Well, what's so interesting, this home is the shot that's heard around the world as it relates to the professionals in the industry. What's so amazing, we've had competitive manufacturers come out here. We've had every aspect, builders, remodelers, developers coming out here to really study this home. And what's so fascinating, they all hunker into the kitchen area. They spend more time looking at the SKS products. And we also have what's so interesting about this home, we have 2 formidable kitchen areas. We actually have a multi-generational suite for folks who are boomeranging back into the family. The parents of the folks who own the home are coming back into these type of homes right now, so that we're having 2 and 3 and 4 generations again living in one home. But the traffic that we've had, the consumers, they just, as you pointed out, Chef Nick, they ooh and ah when they walk into the kitchen, and they're just amazed with all of the attributes within the kitchen, all the things, and it's a showstopper, if you will. They're actually spending 20 and 30 minutes in this kitchen just getting to understand what the capabilities of each of the appliances are. And it's been remarkable to have had thousands of folks come in, and especially from a consumer all the way to the manufacturers and competitive manufacturers who are overwhelmed with this new technology.
That's awesome. That is amazing. How you doing with the peppers, Jason? Are you back on the cutting board? I think we're looking.
They're at the cutting board. Now I just have to cut them. It actually turned out really well, and I'm surprised that everything just came off it. It's like, did what it's supposed to do.
So at this point, our eggs have been in for plenty long. The trout is resting nicely with them. Those are ready to go. What we can do is we can now finish the polenta with our 3 ingredients. So that would be the milk, the grated cheese, and those peppers that you just worked so hard on.
Okay, milk.
Make it a little creamy.
Make it a little creamy and loosen it up a little. Get your nice olive oil in there.
Okay, now the freshly grated Parmesan.
Yes, sir.
All of that goes in there.
Once you get all this stuff in, Jason, you can turn it down to the absolute lowest setting that's available to you on that burner.
Okay, it's on a simmer.
Wonderful. Then peppers next. Fold those in and let their flavor absorb into that. And then just fold, and all that stuff's gonna. And we'll give it one really good, vigorous stir before we go ahead and put it on the plate.
All right, so we've got the polenta done. The trout is in here. Whoa, it's cooked.
Of course it's good.
I don't know.
Big surprise.
Awesome.
Everything
That was
works.
good stuff. Everything works. Nice. Wiping off the sous vide bag. You've done this before. And it is cooked. And you have a nice little delicious lemony flavored juice in the bottom that's sitting in. Beautiful. So
Color's great.
color's great on the trout. Go ahead and take those scissors and just very carefully cut your bag open. And holding the bottom corners, just kind of gently slide those couple trout fillets out onto your foil line tray. While you have the sous vide well open, why don't you go ahead and remove your rack of eggs? Set that. See how easy that is to pull them all out together? I love that. And set that down. We're looking good. Okay, so you have a presentation plate. And then the one other trick that we have here is cracking the sous vide egg out of its shell, which I prefer to do in one of your little glass bowls.
Okay.
Jason, we're gonna crack an egg in there. That way we have no issues. I don't like cracking the eggs over the final presentation dish. Should I mess up and get shell? Also, you'll notice with the sous vide egg, there's sometimes a little excess white from a little watery white left over that I like to leave in the bowl if it sits there.
Okay.
Tap it on there and pull the 2 sides of the shell apart and just boom, perfect. Perfect poached egg. Okay, hold that up to the camera. Look at that. See,
Great. Look at that. First
so
time.
good. So good. Okay, so Jason, you have prepared some textbook Mark Bittman recipes on a beautiful signature kitchen suite range. And now we want to get that on the plate so all of our guests can see how amazing of a chef you are and so that you can take a delicious breakfast break. Take your plate. Yeah, right on the middle of the plate.
Great. Beautiful.
Beautiful. I call that a dollop. That's a professional term for that. That's a dollop. So a dollop of polenta. You're going to flake a little bit of that trout. And I saw how you cooked it on the skin, which is definitely the right thing to do. But go ahead and break the fillet, and you'll see it'll just crack and it'll want to peel right off the skin a little bit. That means you cook perfect fish. Skin comes right off. So yeah, half of one of those fillets broken in a couple pieces, over or near your polenta. Fish looks good. Polenta looks good. Studded with chilies. What we're going to do is we're going to pick up your perfect egg in that bowl and set it right in the middle of the polenta. Just kind of slide it on there. The key is to not break the yolk. There you go.
And then I can put some of this stuff on too.
Yes, please do. Are those the beautiful garden greens from Fox Hills Garden?
Yes.
I think they are. Awesome. Go ahead and embellish your plate with some greens. I mean, Perfect
on.
job.
Looks good to me. I'm not the best at presenting it, but it looks good.
Well, when you don't have the last 24 years putting food on a plate like I do, that's okay. We're going to let you slide on presentation. You cooked the food perfectly. And I know, Jason, you snuck off ahead of this and you went ahead and you were overambitious. I know you made a hollandaise. So you just set that in a nice little bowl and you put that right in the middle of the table for your brunch guests. Like Mark said, those farm fresh eggs cooked to 147 in sous vide, that's all the sauce you need. When you crack that perfect egg open with a fork, you'll realize perfect plate of food.
Jason, I'm so impressed and what a great job you did. Thank you so much for your time and all your energy. I know this wasn't easy for you. You really did a great job. Robert, thank you all. Thank you for all the wonderful information. Nick, as usual, a fantastic job orchestrating everything. Thank you all for watching. You've been watching Cooking in Your True to Food Kitchen from Signature Kitchen Suite. We have several of these posted now, so you can find them all at signaturekitchensuite.com. For more information about Robert and Jason, look at nicholascustomhomes.com or northstarsynergies.com. And my website is markbittman.com. Thank you all again for watching.
Thank you.
Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Pleasure to be here.